students, the faculty, the alumni, my colleagues here at the university. It really is a really exciting time. You know, I certainly do have some prepared remarks, but I was talking with Brian Rist earlier, and he said, wow, you don't realize that 10 years just went by so quickly. And it's funny, a few years ago I lived in a house in Pelham for 17 years, and then I moved over to Tingsboro. And I didn't realize I'd been in that house for 17 years until I started to pack everything up and move on and try something new. And then it was like, wow, we really have been here a long time. And so when I think about DifferenceMaker, and reflect back, I think about all the things that have happened over the last decade, a decade. When we started back in 2011, an idea or conversation with Chancellor Maloney, we were talking, how do we get this going? We need some entrepreneurship things. Alumni like Brian and Frank and Jack Wilson were saying, you need to be a bit more entrepreneurial here. How are you going to do that? DifferenceMaker, a project for the students, was one of the first things we tackled. And so it's really exciting. I, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for coming tonight, taking time out of some really busy schedules to be here. And I also thank you for the work you've all done, because you've all worked really hard over the last decade. So there's a lot going on. The Rist DifferenceMaker Institute now, that's a big deal. Let's hear it for the name of the center. I don't know if you properly celebrate that, but now you can. If you think about it, the work that you all did, the work students did, the faculty, the deans, the associate deans, all of you worked together with our alumni and students to make somebody like Brian Rist and Kim Rist come along and say, this is something we think it's worth investing in. We want to see this continue. We want to see it to grow. And for that, we're really thankful. So thank you both very much for your support. All right, so Adam, thank you. This is my awesome slide here. So honestly, I can't take credit for this work anymore. There's other people carrying it on. They prop me up here every now and then because I can tell a good joke every once in a while. But the goal of DifferenceMaker, right, has been to get our students involved in creative problem solving, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And the way it works by now, you should all know, is students identify a problem that they care about. We help them explore that problem, dig into that problem, look at different aspects of that problem, and then they start to come up with solutions. And they vet those solutions. Some of them may be reasonable, some of them may be crazy. And then we sort of work together with them, and we teach them about entrepreneurship, and we teach them about business planning, and then they go out and they test their idea. And the goal here really is to help our students move these ideas forward over time, right? We said from the beginning, DifferenceMaker is not a business plan competition. We didn't want to read a 50-page business plan competition. We wanted to raise awareness, seed ideas, move people forward, help them develop skills, and help them launch businesses. And that we've done, right? We've got some great student teams that are going to present later tonight. It's just exciting when you realize our student teams, we've invested about $527,000 in prize money. Our student teams have raised $5 million, right? Any investor would take that 10x return, right? That's a pretty good return on their money. 40 companies have been formed. We've reached, and when I use that colloquial we, right? We've reached over 60,000 students over 10 years. Every student that comes to convocation hears about DifferenceMaker. Holly and her team make hundreds of classroom visits. And in fact, during COVID, when everyone was locked up in closets trying to escape their friends who were Zooming in the next room, they had the most visits per classroom than they'd ever had. So while COVID was a challenge for many of us, our faculty were welcoming DifferenceMaker into their classrooms and saying, come be a part of my classes. So we've had 136 winning teams, we've reached a lot of people, and we've launched businesses, and you're going to get to hear about them, that are really making an impact, that are raising money, that are spending that money in the community, that are renting spaces, they're building and buying factories. It's just amazing what our student teams are doing. So I'm excited to be able to share that with you. So our students and DifferenceMaker program really has made a difference. So thank you all for that. So there's a lot going on. I'm just doing intros here. There's a lot happening tonight. And I do need to thank some folks before we get started. They often have me do this as well. So first I'd like to thank our faculty fellows. So as you know, one of the ways we've helped connect DifferenceMaker to the colleges and to the classrooms is by identifying faculty from every college. And I really do appreciate the deans and the associate deans who take time to work with Holly and the team to identify those people. So I'm going to ask these faculty to stand up as I call their name, and then we can thank them all. Mazen El-Ghazari and Brent Schell from the Zuckerberg College of Health Science. Deb Finch, an Emeriti DifferenceMaker faculty fellow from the Manning School of Business, and Carl O'Donnell. Some new faculty fellows, Carter Keogh and Kalila Walkowitz from the Francis College of Engineering. Kathy Levy and Neil Shortland from the College of Fine Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. Check out that seat on here. I'm getting whatever is next. Rachel Mansfield from the Honors College, who's really been helping us walk into the Honors College. Rachel, thank you. Tom Wilkes from the Kennedy College of Sciences. And Kevin Royal from the Manning School of Business, who really has become a friend of this campus. Thank you, Kevin. I would really be remiss if I didn't thank the leadership of the DifferenceMaker team. So with that, I'm going to ask Holly Lalos. Stand up, please, Holly. David Badalaro. Where's David Howard? Jackie Buckley, you're America. Where are you at? And the co-op students, Adam, Yahern, Maddie, and Jake. They do all the work that makes this happen. So thank you. Tonight we've had some great help from our advancement partners. So in particular, I want to thank Kerry Pacello for her help pulling this evening off. Thank you, Kerry. And Steve Rogers and Sally Washburn, thank you as well for helping us make this happen. So some of you know this, some of you don't. So there's been a lot of transitions and reorganization at the university. We've had to adapt because of some of the challenges we faced with COVID. And one of those shifts was the movement of DifferenceMaker from my operation over to student affairs and leadership. And I'm really happy to know that we put it in such good hands under my very accomplished colleague and friend, Brenda Evans, Dean of Student Affairs and Wellness. Thank you for taking good care of DifferenceMaker. You know, we kind of go back and forth between this. Sometimes we charge, sometimes we have sponsorship, sometimes we don't. So this evening we thought it was the 10th year. It would be nice if we could generate some revenue to help support the students. And so I really want to thank our table sponsors this evening for their support. We had a great turnout for that. So good friends, Frank and Mary Jo Spinola, thank you both for your support. We know that you're there for us, and we really appreciate that. Dean Sherwood from the Francis College of Engineering, thank you very much, Jim. Dean Richtemeyer from the Manning School of Business, thank you, Sandy. I know Dean Manning could not join us tonight, but he's represented by a great group over here from the Kennedy College of Science. Associate Dean Matt Nugent, thank you. And Richard, you're a good friend of DifferenceMaker. Thank you for your support. Richard is a 98 alum from the Zuckerberg College of Health Science. And of course, GPS helped out a little bit, so thank you all very much. So, a lot's going. There's a lot of people that we want to thank. I appreciate you all being here. In particular, I want to thank my boss, Provost Joe Hartman. Joe understands what we're trying to do. I met Joe about 6 months after he came to the university, when the chancellor said to me, Steve, do you want to move over to that big shiny new building over here? Or do you want to be on the ground working over in engineering? And I said, you know what? I think I'll take my risk on the ground with this new dean. And so he found a little corner for me. Actually, it was a nice office. I got to thank you for that. Although my new office is even nicer, thank you again. But the truth is, it was great getting to meet Joe about 6 months after he landed here at UMass Lowell, and now working with him is really a pleasure. So Joe, thank you for your leadership and helping me take care of this program. So I also want to welcome, we've got a great friend here, President Phil Sisson from Middlesex Community College. Phil, we love working with you. We appreciate you taking time to be here with us tonight, and we are looking forward to working more closely with you, so thanks. So there are a lot of folks here who've supported us. I see we've got executive cab turned out. We have the deans, the associate deans. We have students. We've got little Jimmy Abadala, who we hired back in 2011. I think he was a junior in his business program, came back tonight. So thank you all for being here with us. We really appreciate that. And finally, a special thank you to Kim and Brian Rist for establishing the Rist DifferenceMaker Institute. Your support helped the program through a pretty challenging time during the pandemic, and the support you gave us allowed us to weather that storm. And as I mentioned, we really reached out even further. So it's great to have friends like you on board. So with that, I'm going to wrap up, but first I'd like to ask Provost Hartman and Holly Butler to come join me on stage. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce our biggest champion, someone who envisioned DifferenceMaker 10 years ago, maybe even longer ago, but she started talking to me about it 10 years ago. She helped us grow the program and kick it off back in 2012. And more than that, she wanted to make sure that it had a home on this campus and that it had a lasting home and that it would be here for many years to come. So the success of DifferenceMaker is due in a big part to the vision that Chancellor Maloney had. So Jackie, would you please join us on stage? So we would just like to give you a small token of our appreciation. This award is in recognition of your leadership and support in making DifferenceMaker a great success, which in turn has made the world a better place. Thank you, Chancellor.
Get all your stuff out of the way. I mean, he starts out, in case you don't know me, I'm Steve Teller. Who in this room doesn't know Steve Teller? Anybody? No? No? Jack. Thank you for this really touching award. Very special for me. I really appreciate the acknowledgement. It wasn't in my briefing though, I want to say. They got me here, and very seldom can they get me on the surprises. So thank you very much, that was a great surprise. And as Steve said, I'm just going to echo a lot of what he said. Thank you all for being here. Wow, is it nice to have everyone back together? Yeah. We did it. We not only survived, we thrived, we've recreated ourselves, and we are ready for the next step. It is amazing, as Steve said, our 10-year anniversary. It really is fun to think about everything that everyone has contributed to get us to the place where we are tonight, and we have some really exciting presentations that I think will help you show just how important this program is. Again, I would like to also welcome President Emeritus Jack Wilson, who's been a great mentor for me, and really offering that to Jack Wilson, and also to Phil Sisson. Congratulations on your appointment as president at Middlesex. You know, Lowell's a funny place, right? People from Lowell are laughing, for those of you who don't. It could be a kind of parochial place, and everybody knows everyone, and I cannot tell you, it must be 500 times people have said to me, so what do you think of the new guy at Middlesex? And boy, what a joy it was to say, not only do I think he is a great educator, he is so dedicated to his students. He's an unbelievable collaborator and has been every step of the way with us. So Phil, please stand up one more time so we can say welcome to the community and congratulations on your amazing job. You know, as all of you know, and I was talking with Brian and Kim earlier today, and we talked about The real world experience of our students is the hallmark of a UMass Lowell education. It has always been that way. Real world experience solving real world problems. That's what our faculty do, that's what our students do, and that is why DifferenceMaker was a no-brainer for us. What I love about the DifferenceMaker program is everything that Steve said. You know, so many B schools, Dean Richtermeyer would say, right, you can write a business plan. You know, you have an idea, let's write a business plan. How many colleges and the universities have programs where you can take that idea and have the wraparound of all these amazing people who will mentor you, help you, actually give you money to try your idea, right, Ben? It's really pretty phenomenal. And I just want to also, along with Steve, extend my appreciation and thanks to each and every one of you for bringing this program to the national notoriety that it now has, our Rist DifferenceMaker Institute. So thank you all. You know, we've seen over and over and over and over, if we give our students the right kind of resources, the expertise that they need, the help, it is nothing short of amazing to watch all of you as students to see what you can achieve. Now, there are a lot of students here tonight, and I just can't even imagine what you have been through for a year and a half. But I want to tell you, as your chancellor, I could not be more proud of the way that you handled yourself over the past year and a half. You went through a lot. You sacrificed a lot, but you never showed it. You helped each other. You reached out across the campus. You built teams. You built DifferenceMaker ideas. You kept it going. You kept your positivity rate under 1%. Nobody else can say that. And right now, 99% faculty, staff, and students vaccinated. Why? Because we care about each other. And you as students coming back this year, what a thrill. I mean, for some of you just back on campus, how good is it to see all of you? Speaking with so many of our faculty saying, this is our best opening that I can remember. Everyone, all of us, so happy to be back together, doing what we do best, making this world a better place. So I want these students to stand up, all of you, so we can give you a round of applause for your staying power, your determination, your creativity, and for making us proud of our University students. You are amazing. Amazing. You hear that? You have a lot of friends here. There are a lot of people here, as Steve said, and I won't call them out again because Steve did all that and took all my talking points. It's okay. Kidding. We do choreograph these things just a little bit. But honestly, to the faculty, to our administration, the exec tab, you too, over the past year and a half, had to make a lot of sacrifices to make sure that this experience that these students had was a meaningful one. You, the executive cabinet, our deans, our faculty, department chairs, you also reached across in a way that was remarkable. You never skipped a beat, and you made sure that these students really got what they deserved. So to all of you, I say thank you as well. Thank you. And of course, I would also like to join Steve and everyone here in thanking Kim and Brian Rist for their generous donation, which has helped us to build this DifferenceMaker Institute, the Rist DifferenceMaker Institute, into the nationally recognized program it is today. It is so fun to sit with Brian and Kim. I remember the first day I went to Brian's office, I was with Steve Rogers. He's here, right? Steve, where are you? There he is. Remember that? And I walked out and I thought I should get an honorary degree on how to make storm shutters. Because Brian and Kim, when you talk to them about what they're doing in their community, they are so dedicated to and determined to lift up their community and the next generation, to lift up all of you. In fact, I would say their energy is boundless and inspiring. So thank you, and I'm going to introduce you in a minute, but thank you both. You're amazing people. So tonight we are going to hear from some teams. Some of the teams that have developed into some of the successes we know. Of course, we all remember non-spec, and I think I saw Jonathan here earlier, and congratulations to them and the many teams that have launched incredible programs that help people with disabilities to more fully engage in their communities. And of course, we have that team that designed the water filter for the people in Haiti, which I believe is still saving lives when you look at what is happening there. And of course, InvisAware, I'm sitting with Raja tonight, and I have to share, it was just a week ago, we were called kind of last minute to do a little presentation, Julie, Jen, and myself, about what's happening at the university. Oh, which thing would you like me to talk about? Because there are lots of pages and things we love to talk about. And so we talked, about economic development, a new innovation hub, some ideas we have about co-locating in downtown Lowell. We talked about the Rist Institute for the Difference Makers, and Raja was there. And I asked her to stand up. Now, what is amazing to me is here we are, the Lowell Plan helps the city of Lowell to think about the future and economic development. Who is on the board of the Lowell Plan now? Raja. One of our very own DifferenceMaker companies. So I asked Raja to stand up, and just, and I talked about it, and I was talking about the charms, and of course she had on her wrist, got up like she was modeling. So of course tonight, I want you to know I have my own InvisAware charm. So, since they had a little surprise for me tonight, I also, you're not the only one. So you know that guy that nobody knows, Steve Tello? Well, of course, he's been a co-conspirator of mine for a long time, and every time I've been given a challenge, even Marty's predecessor, he was to me like I have been to poor Steve Tello. I have this idea, but we need to figure out how to do it. And Steve has been that partner in crime with me every step along the way, including when we started our online program, and then when we started the entrepreneurship stuff, and looking at graduate programs, knowing we had to reinvent that, the man I turned to on campus. We are forever grateful that Steve embraced this particular challenge, our DifferenceMaker challenge. So I'd like to ask Steve, Holly, if you could come up. So Steve, I'm not the only one surprised. We have a little bit of presentation for you. Couldn't have done it without you, my friend. Congratulations on all the success. Enjoy looking at it. Great. Congratulations, Steve, and thank you again. And now it's my privilege to introduce Brian Rist, a dear friend and colleague. Brian is a 1977 graduate of the Manning School of Business. He's an entrepreneur, the founder and former owner of the Florida-based Storm Smart Industries. After seeing the devastating damage of Hurricane Andrew in 1992, Brian sought solutions to help people protect their homes in severe weather. He founded Storm Smart in 1996 and has guided its growth to become the largest manufacturer and installer of hurricane protection products in the country. Brian's success was rooted in his commitment to customer service, product development, and sustainability. Because of his success, Brian and Kim have now sold Storm Smart and are focusing on their philanthropic efforts for their family foundation. We're so fortunate that Brian has chosen his alma mater to show so much light and hope with. He serves also on the Manning School of Advisory, the Chancellor's Advisory Board, and the Riverhawk Venture Fund. I am so grateful to be able to call him friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Brian.
So how'd you like to stand up here and follow all that? Yeah, I should probably put like a little clause in this deal. Okay, I'll keep coming back as long as, I follow, I stop or something, who knows. But thank you so much for allowing me to speak here tonight. It really, truly is, as they mentioned, hard to believe. It's been 10 years since Steve and the Chancellor came up with this idea and thought so wisely about putting this program together. I think back, and it's now been over 6 years since I was first asked to be a judge, and I can really remember right now, I remember right from the start thinking, what a great opportunity. What a great way of learning in the experience that came from it. I only had wished that there was something like this way back when I was here as a student, first here at Lowell, and then my wife reminded me that, that was a very long time ago, and they hadn't even invented computers yet, so let alone the DifferenceMaker program. But, as the Chancellor mentioned, I am Brian Rist, and along with my wife Kim, we have the honor and really the good fortune to have our name attached to this program. And in the DifferenceMaker program, all the wonderful and worthy causes we support, this is really truly the one that is nearest and dearest in our hearts and our thoughts. When I look back at not just the winners, but all the participants we have met over the years, I feel truly, truly blessed to have been seen and witnessed so many noble and worthy participants, so much hard work, and so much effort put in by so many students. We're just truly honored. It's a DifferenceMaker philosophy, though, that we've talked about here tonight, and it's mentioned before, that working towards social change and focusing in on ideas that will have an impact on trying to solve real-world problems. I truly believe that's what makes this program truly special. And in fact, so important and so successful, unfortunately, there's just no shortage of problems that we all must work towards overcoming. I'll tell you, in front of you tonight stands one of the luckiest people you'll ever meet. But I absolutely believe that this luck comes out of years of hard work, perseverance, and maybe a fair amount of good luck. Traits, which I later learned, are required to achieve the success we all seek in life. But I also learned that if you want to be truly successful in business, and really in life, you must take a path which solves problems, which improves life, which helps people in their lives. I believe, and truly believe, that if you start out in business with the idea that you want to make a lot of money, I just don't think and know that that's going to be sustainable. However, if you focus in on solving a problem, addressing an issue, or trying just to make the world a better place, then I think your chances for success grow exponentially. And you'll see, very likely along the way, that you'll make some money as well. This, in a nutshell, is what I believe makes this program so successful. We mentioned it earlier, you're thinking back at many of the winners and participants, it's a kind of an honor to be sitting next to you, Raj, tonight, and Invisaware, who makes life safety jewelry and pendants, and is trying to solve that problem. Benji Ball, and making sporting equipment for all kinds of people, regardless of their physical handicaps. Non-spec, low-cost prosthetics. Micro Fabrics improves crop production. Enable, no-cost prosthetics for children. Wonder Wheel, they created a device to power wheelchairs. TrueFit, the development of the fail-safe method for securing a good seal and good fit for a mask, and whoever thought that was going to be such a popular thing, so you just never know. And that's just scratching the surface. There's just been so many along the way. All of them are winners. All the successful ideas have one thing in common. They identify a problem and they work towards creating a solution. Now, you learn that the idea alone won't get you there. Ask any of them. It takes hard work. There'll be good days and there'll be bad days. It takes timing. There's a lot to be saying, right time, right place. I mean, I truly thought we had a great idea when we started our business, but being in the right place at the right time had a lot to do with making it successful. Having some good luck never hurts, but you'll likely learn along the way that you make your own luck. Arnold Palmer once said, "The more I practice, the luckier I got." And so there's that. Nothing makes up for hard work and perseverance. So if I could offer a small bit of advice, and I've told this story before one time, or maybe more than one time, it's a lesson which got me through a lot of hard days and a lot of tough times. And I promise you, there'll probably be more bad days than good days as you go down this path. But it's a saying that really changed things for me when things weren't going very well and everything looked very bleak. And I had a mentor of mine, he said to me, he said, "Hey Brian, businesses don't fail, people quit." And that just struck a nerve with me, that if businesses don't fail, people quit. It told me that if I got up every morning and went to work and kept swinging the bat, things would eventually work themselves out. So if I could share that with you, it really made a big difference to me. Today, I'm proud to share with you that little company my wife and I started 25 plus years ago grew into, as the Chancellor said, the largest company in our industry. We employed over 300 people, almost 300 people. And in April, it was acquired by a large private equity company for a price tag that I never dreamed of. And then it just grew out of nothing, and allowing us today to live a life where we get to do with what we want to do and when we want to do it. Allowing us to create our foundation and fund programs, great programs, like the Difference Makers. You see, in life, dreams do come true. I'm very proud to tell you today that when we leave here later this week, we are heading to the Cape to close on our dream home. It's a bigger house than we ever imagined, looking over the water, and a place that we only dreamed of. A home we had always dreamed of, and in a place which has always been in our dreams. You see, with hard work and perseverance, dreams can come true. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Holly Lalos, and I'm the director of the Rist DifferenceMaker Institute. Brian, thank you very much for those inspiring words, and Kim and Brian both for your donation and your support of the Rist DifferenceMaker Institute. So now it's time for 4 DifferenceMaker Ventures to share their stories with you and to talk more about DifferenceMaker and what they do. So first, I would like to introduce Jonathan Perez de Alderete. He is a co-founder of NonSpec, and NonSpec won DifferenceMaker's first campus-wide award. So welcome, Jonathan.
I'll try and remember to change the slides this time. I have a tendency not to do that. So hello everyone, I am Jonathan Perez de Alderete, and I'm CEO and co-founder of NonSpec, and we make affordable and adjustable prosthetic limb kits. We've been doing this since DifferenceMaker started, actually, and I'm having a little bit of difficulty remembering roughly the fact that I've condensed an entire speech down to about 30 seconds a year. Is that what I get? But in general, what our focus was when we started this company was it's very expensive to receive a prosthetic limb, and in particular, a leg. It's a hard problem to put someone up and have them start walking. There's a lot of forces involved. It's a pretty complex material problem and mechanical problem, and it was costing patients in the US and abroad several $1,000s to get a leg that they could use to just walk around and do their normal tasks. We actually started because a woman in Chelmsford reached out to us and said, "My leg costs as much as a car, and I can't take a shower in it, so could you help us out with that just a little bit?" All right? And the realization is that if we could make a product that people could afford, we could improve so many lives. And so we went ahead and actually started doing the market research. We worked primarily in India to start out with, and while we were there, we worked directly with clinicians to identify exactly what was necessary in a limb. And because of that, we created the non-spec prosthetic pilot. This system allows for full adjustment. It removes all of the finicky business of trying to align a limb and condenses it down into a single visit instead of a dozen. As a result of that, our patients are happier, they're healthier, they enjoy their limbs more, they go back to doing the things they love. And the cool part about what we've done here is I can deliver this to India for a total cost of goods of $24, which is exactly why we wanted to do this product. This allows us to be sustainable in effectively every marketplace anywhere in the world. Taking that further, we brought that to patients effectively everywhere. We have a few thousand patients now who've gone through this process of getting our limbs and going around and walking. We have hundreds of partner clinics. Recently, recently pre-COVID, because time is a flat circle now, we actually trained every clinician in Rwanda, and we actually sat down with them and taught them how to use these components. To date, we've raised a little over $2.5 million to do this project. It's all grants and competitions, so we've actually had the wonderful ability to actually choose all of our own directions and our choices as we go through this. And the really cool part about this is that when COVID hit, because we had to shut down our facilities, we were actually able to retool, and we actually ended up providing thousands of face shields. We used our production quality, our production equipment, and also we partnered with USL to release about 200-ish face shields a day to the local hospitals. And in fact, as of now, I think over 10,000 units have been donated across the US, and even more in our partner facilities in India and Rwanda. We have another one in Laos, which I still don't know how many they've made because they won't respond to my emails right now. So we're going through that. So yes, we've been around for those 7 years, and it's been awesome because we've had a chance to work with DifferenceMaker, to work with students. We're kind of the older sibling of the collective Difference Makers, so a lot of our work has actually been like, we get to spend time working with the students directly, telling them what we did wrong. That's a huge part of what we do, letting them know all the pitfalls that we walked right into. And then also having the chance to grow alongside DifferenceMaker. It's been huge to have the support from them, to have them help us when there are things that go terribly wrong. Holly has seen me come into her office and be like, hey, something was bad today. So many times. And that family, that support is huge in building your company and building out your business, because without it, it really is an almost impossible task. Because some days you don't want to get up. Sometimes you sit there and you're like, oh God, everything was really bad yesterday and I don't want to have to send another email being like, please buy this. And having that support structure was huge for us. And so yeah, we would not be here without DifferenceMaker, and I'm actually happy to say that in the next 6 months, we will finally be releasing our first US limbs. And in fact, we've already just finished the pre-orders for that, where we're holding a 98% gross margin. So we're in pretty good shape. We've been enjoying this process going through, and we couldn't be happier to be here. So thank you, everyone. And here's my contact.
All right, thank you so much, John, for sharing you and Aaron's story about non-spec and your experience with DifferenceMaker. So next up, I would like to welcome Raja Abdulaziz. So Raja and Ray are the co-founders of Invisaware, and they won the 2016 Innovative Technology Solution Award. So please join me in welcoming Raja.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Very nice to meet all of you guys. I see so many familiar faces. 6 years ago, I was walking up the stage to pitch to win a competition for my company, and I remember being shaking from the nervousness. 6 years later, I feel like I'm still shaking, but shaking with honor because I'm so touched to be here tonight to share with you my experience. I think I'm still trying to cover up. I was almost about to tear when Brian said it was an honor to sit with me. It's an honor to be sitting with Brian and Kim tonight and Chancellor Maloney. Thank you all so much for having me. My name is Raja Abdulaziz. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Invisaware. We create smart jewelry and accessories with life-saving technology hidden inside. They look like necklaces, bracelets, keychains. We even have them in fitness bands and scrunchies. But there's a button hidden on the back side, and if you double press it twice, it immediately notifies 5 people that you need help. It shares your location, and it can optionally contact 911 as well.
We have been extremely fortunate over the last 5 years to raise over $3 million in financing to bring our product to market. Thank you so much. Not only that, but our first year on the market, so we spent the first 2 years in product development, but the first year on the market, our third year in business, we did over $1 million in sales simply from word of mouth exposure and all of the incredible individuals at UMass Lowell who are pushing out our story and spreading the message. As of recently, we also signed a very large partnership that I can't wait to tell you about, but I'll start off by sharing with you some of the great exposure we've had. We've been featured on ABC News, CBS, WBZ, Good Morning America, we've been on Fox. It's been truly an honor and such a dream come true. We were even featured on QVC this past June. As a Shark Tank fanatic, I think I was in tears. I was hoping Lori Grenier would be on there. Maybe our next feature. We've even been super fortunate to help save so many lives. I have a quote from a woman up here who bought a device for her mother-in-law who ended up using our device after she fell just 1 week after she gave it to her. I remember when Ray and I were first starting our company, so many people kept telling us, "Are you crazy? What do you mean you're turning down a job with Google?" I remember telling Provost Hartman I am declining Google. It was also in this room. But it's been so exciting. One of the things Ray and I kept telling everyone was, well, what if we bring this product to market and what if one day it saves someone's life? And it feels like every single day now we're hearing about a success story of someone like this woman who fell and wasn't able to get up, or someone in a domestic violence situation who used their device while their husband was trying to attack them and it saved her life, or a woman in a car accident who was trapped in her car and couldn't find her phone and used it to notify her mom and dad who were able to connect with the police. It's truly such a dream come true to be able to make such an impact on tens of thousands of people's lives. One of our biggest milestones that we've been so excited to share is we recently announced a major partnership with ADT, the #1 name in security. If you had told me years ago that we'd partner with ADT, I probably would have fallen out of my chair in disbelief. But it's been truly incredible and it has helped propel our growth exponentially. We've done north of $5 million in sales. Thank you so much. And I can't say too much because I have to sign some scary non-disclosure agreements. But we're in the process of finalizing an agreement with a $1 billion company that ADT introduced us to. So I can't wait to tell you guys more about that, hopefully at a next celebration. We were asked to share some of our challenges. Our challenges are we've just been experiencing so much hypergrowth that's very atypical. We now have 17 employees, which is super exciting, but it feels like we can't hire enough people. It's super crucial as a startup to be finding the right talent, so we're continuously looking to add new team members. We're currently hiring for 2 more positions right now and are trying to get the most talented people we can find, but it's been amazing to be so close to the university because we attract such great talent. And then with all of our hypergrowth, we can barely keep the shelves stocked, so we're constantly putting all of our funding into inventory. So we're hopefully going to plan to raise another round of financing in 2022 to help us increase our global presence because we recently launched international functionality. We are so... Thank you. We are so beyond grateful for the Difference Maker program, and I honestly and truly cannot thank Holly, the Chancellor, the Rist family, and everyone who's played an instrumental role in helping bring Difference Makers to what it is today. I would not be standing here if it wasn't for Difference Makers. That initial $5,000 that we won is what allowed us to build prototypes that we then took to investors to raise additional funding. Holly connected us to the Lowell Development Financial Corporation that wrote our first loan to help us bring the product to market. The Riverhawk Venture Group invested in us. I see some of my amazing investors in the audience, and I'm so grateful for them taking such a huge risk on us. But not only that, the mentorship that we were provided was incredible. We still work today with some of the mentors we were paired with 6 years ago. I know some of you guys know Ray Southworth. He runs a $100 million company based out of New Hampshire. And he's helped us avoid so many pitfalls. If it wasn't for him, we would have made so many mistakes and we wouldn't be where we are today. So I'm truly so grateful for Difference Makers, UMass Lowell, and the city of Lowell for all of their support. And I can't thank you all enough from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
All right, amazing job, Raja. And it is aware every time I talk to Raja and Ray, they have some big news to share, and it's just incredible. So next up, I would like to introduce our 2017 campus-wide Difference Maker team. So Tyler Cody is actually the founder of Operation 250. So welcome, Tyler.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Difference Makers, the whole Difference Maker team. Thank you, Brian, and your wife. Thank you guys so much for continuing to keep this program going. Thank you, UMass Lowell. It's great to be back. It really is. It's great to see you all and to be back in this room. Can't believe it's been 10 years for Difference Maker. I can't believe that it's been 4 years since we went through Difference Maker. It's quite incredible when you really think about it. But my name is Tyler Cody. I'm the co-founder and director of Operation 250. We are a nonprofit education organization that works with elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools to keep kids safe from threatening individuals and materials when they're online. Our program is run usually through online safety and anti-hate education. So when we work with schools, we run workshops, we run lecture programs, we run student or educator training programs to try and improve youth online decision-making, improve their ability to identify and understand risks as they're presented to them, whether it's risks that they even or even know are risks when they actually see it for the first time. And then in the end, try and give them the preventative skills that can help prevent potential risks that are going to be presented to them and their peers as well. So Holly wanted me to touch on everything from the successes that we've had, but also the challenges. So in terms of successes, I'm very happy to be able to let you guys know that over the past few years, we have spent a lot of time trying to understand the impact that our program has. As an educational organization, we want to be able to go to schools and say, this is what we can expect in your students after they receive our program. So through our help with the University of Massachusetts Lowell and Dr. Neil Shortland and his research team, a research team over at Harvard University and their School of Public Health, and a research team down at Georgia State University, we've been able to find that our organization is actually finding the impact and seeing the impact that we're hoping to have. We're seeing that kids are understanding the risks that may be presented to them online. We're seeing that students are actually understanding the impact of their disinhibited behaviors when they're on the internet, which is a key element of our online safety education. And we're really seeing that through our anti-hate program, that they're understanding how hate can manifest and how it can grow in online environments. From our reach perspective, we reached over 2,000 individuals in our target audience just in Massachusetts alone over the past few years. Of course, over the last year and a half, that has been as I'll get into in a moment, a bit of a challenge, as everything has been moved into a virtual world, but we were able to turn that into an opportunity, something where we were focusing so heavily on doing person-to-person, peer-to-peer type interaction with our students and with the teachers, that gave us an opportunity to think about how can we get our materials in front of our target audience in different ways. I'll get into that here in a little bit, jump ahead. But for funding, another success, we've received 3 large-scale grant projects from 3 big government agencies: Department of Homeland Security, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the National Institute of Justice, part of the Department of Justice, to evaluate our program, which I had mentioned, to replicate our program so we can spread it into new schools and also spread it up into New Hampshire as well. So we're trying to get out of Massachusetts. Not get out of Massachusetts, but spread into Massachusetts. And then also just grow our organization. When we started, we very much had this focus on we want to counter extremism specifically, and that was it. And as you see for our challenges, one thing that once we started talking with teachers and started going into schools and understanding what it is that they needed and what they were looking for, we started to realize that we need to take a step back. We need to focus more heavily on the online safety element of our program. And as we have seen over the past year and a half, online safety education has probably become even more critical now than it ever has been before, which with our online movement here over the past year and a half as well, we have now gone from doing 1-hour-long training programs with teachers to developing 10, 12-hour-long self-paced trainings that we can give to teachers and they can do on their own throughout an entire school year. So we're finding, turning things that we saw as challenges in the beginning, turning them into opportunities for us. And I really want to just take a moment to reflect on DifferenceMaker and everything that it has. Oh, words aren't popping up there, so I guess that's okay. But really want to think about, reflect on what DifferenceMaker has done for us and really our perspective of going through DifferenceMaker. Aside from funding, which is great, believe me, that initial seed funding from DifferenceMaker was, not to be coy, a difference maker, but the change in mentality that it gave our team moving forward was, in my opinion, the most impactful thing that it could have done for our team. We came into DifferenceMaker with a class project mentality, and it was because of this program that we left with a business mentality. And that's something, as somebody who studied criminal justice and political science and didn't even really think that the business side of it all was going to be something that I even had to deal with, was a game changer for me. And on a more personal note, I should say, DifferenceMaker is all about giving opportunity to that next generation. For us, that was our team. They gave us that opportunity to develop something that we thought could actually have that critical impact on somebody else. And now when we go into schools, we run problem-solving activities with kids so that they can develop solutions to some of the problems that they see in their community. So we're able to take the opportunity that DifferenceMaker gave us and trying to give it to that opportunity, give that same opportunity to elementary, middle school, and high school students as well. So thank you to UMass Lowell for keeping this program going. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Rist, for keeping this program going. Thank you to Chancellor Maloney and the whole UMass Lowell team. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to follow some great teams as well on the stage, so thank you.
Another wonderful DifferenceMaker team that emerged and has grown into a very successful nonprofit. So thank you, Tyler. And lastly, I would like to introduce Michelle Melou and Katie Harrington. So they were co-founders of Ambulatory Innovations, and they won an honorable mention award in 2019. So Michelle and Katie, welcome.
Everyone. So if you don't know, I'm Michelle Melou and I'm Katie. So together we have created a company called Ambulatory Innovations. And today we're here to talk to you a little bit about the product that we have been working on, the Community Ambulation Tool Mat, or otherwise known as the CAT Mat. And we're also gonna, just like the rest of the teams, talk about our successes and our challenges, but we also want to thank Brian and his wife so much, and thank you, Chancellor Maloney. Thank you, everyone who's really helped us come along with this ride, Holly. It's just been a great time so far, and we just want to keep on going with it, so. All right, so basically, we have found that currently there is no cost-effective, lightweight, user-friendly device that allows physical therapists to work safely and directly with their patients on walking outdoors or community ambulation. So we have discovered a solution called the CAT mat. And this mat is going to help patients and physical therapists work on walking outdoors, work on their balance, work on strengthening their legs from the safety of a clinic on the inside. These mats are 1 square foot, and they have a compressible top layer, and they're filled with various sizes of compressible beads of different materials. So these mats, they're very unique where they're modular and puzzle piece shaped, so that way we can make our path as long or as wide as desired for individual patient needs. So if you wanted, you could make a nice long pathway for people to walk on.
So we had our initial success with the DifferenceMaker award that we won. A lot of our other successes, though, have come either from DifferenceMaker sending us emails, such as apply for this grant, or nominating us for different competitions. So from services donated by Foley and Lautner, we were able to jumpstart our company formation processes, and we are now an established S-Corp with our provisional patents and trademarks pending. We were able to participate when UMass Lowell hosted iCorp Spark, and that helped us develop valuable customer discovery interview skills, as well as how to approach forming our company as well. We also participated in many competitions, including Beantown Throwdown, in which we beat out both Harvard and MIT for the first place prize. And then from our continued partnership with the UMass Lowell Nerve Lab, we've been able to continue our research and development processes.
All right. So, of course, with every group you have successes, but you also have challenges. But another strong suit that we have is that we, being physical therapists ourselves, we already knew a lot about our target audience and their pain points, so we were pretty easily able to find something that we wanted to work on together. But that being said, initially, talking about the business mindset, we had kind of a similar feeling where we didn't really think that the business aspect was as big in the big picture as it really is. We were very patient focused, very just thinking about what can we do to make our patients do better with their treatments. But then with DifferenceMakers, with all the boot camps that we've done, we've learned to have a good business mindset as well. Another challenge that we've had was with engineering and just manufacturing. Again, we're physical therapists, so we're not very familiar with that aspect, but we have had engineers come onto our team and help us with that. Initially, we really thought that a lot of work would go into additive manufacturing, but that actually wasn't the case, but we put a lot of time into that in the past couple of years. So another challenge, of course, everyone, we had to deal with COVID-19. We actually work with the Nerve Lab through UMass Lowell. It's such a great facility, and we are really appreciative of that partnership. But unfortunately, like everyone, they were temporarily closed for a little while, so our testing had to be put on hold, but we're going to be returning and testing soon, which we're very excited about. And then a final thing that we're kind of still ongoing, but we're hopefully going to get the ball rolling with this, is that one of our teammates decided that their priorities had shifted and it was just best to go separate ways. So on that note, we are looking for a new engineer or even someone who's just interested in 3D printing or likes working with 3D printing and is interested in making prototypes out of new materials.
Yeah, so we just want to say thank you again to DifferenceMaker. It's been a pleasure to grow through the community from our origins as 2 graduate students to an established company. It's also been a pleasure speaking at the boot camps to discuss both our successes and failures with the students, so that they can help avoid some of the pitfalls that we've fallen into. DifferenceMaker, as Michelle said, has empowered us by providing us the opportunity to engage our clinical mindset in a business setting, and we are so excited to continue to grow with them.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that everyone else, students coming in, also have that opportunity as well, because being physical therapy students, we had heard about DifferenceMaker, but didn't really know how we could become involved. So we want to help be advocates for other majors who aren't really as business-based to become part of it as well. Thank you.
Are you all in awe again? Can we have all those teams stand up and take another round of applause? We're so proud. We actually have a lot of winning teams here tonight. Can all of you that have participated in DifferenceMaker over the years, please stand up and be acknowledged? You know, as Steve mentioned, I was not here when this kicked off. I'm working on my 9th year at the university. And I have to say, this has become a complete joy to work with this program over the years, to work with Holly over the years, and to see the growth of our students. This is the ultimate in experiential learning. And for all of our students that are here tonight, I'm glad you saw that we probably had 4 times as many people stand up when we said all of the winning teams over the years. The things that you take out of this program, we love when they're financially successful, we love when they touch and reach so many people. But what you get in that program, whether it's the creativity you develop, whether it's working with an interdisciplinary team, whether it's being able to stand up in front of a crowd and talk, whether it's to give a pitch to someone you don't know at all, whether it is just to be excited to be on campus, these are things that are hard to grasp, but it's what we try to give you at Lowell. So take advantage of those opportunities. This is one of many, but this is obviously the shining in our crown, as we say. Holly, please stand up and take a bow for all of you done for this program. Chancellor, thank you for your vision. Steve, thank you for your vision. We all know Holly's done all the work for the 10 years. Brian, Kim, thank you so much for making this to ensure that it'll be here long past us for all the students to enjoy. Thank you for all coming tonight. We can't wait for the next 10 years. Have a great night.